get a date for you. See where we're at. Oh my god, May's disappearing. 18th of May today, Sunday. We're over at Jim's farm, and this farm at the moment is currently split in half. Half of it's set aside, half of it is we call it set aside. It's over winter stubbles in one of the countryside stewardship schemes that they have now closed. Anyway, you can see here there's some tractor marks going up and down the field there. That's where the farmer's been recently with his sprayer, and he's now sprayed off all these weeds. You should be able to see some sort of telltale signs. They're all sort of drooping over, got their heads down, everything's curling up, everything's dying. I can see these they're all just on the turn, so everything's going to be going brown over the next 3 or 4 days. So in May you're allowed to spray it, and you're allowed, obviously you don't want all these weeds going to seed going into next year's crop, so we spray them off now. They allow you to do that, and then come August you're allowed to then start your cultivations for next year's winter wheat crop, which this will be. There's all sorts in here. There's thistles, you've got thistles down here, you've got a lot of blackgrass in there, so you do get a good kill on all your problem weeds. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Once it's all dead and brown and cultivations can start, we have done in the past, it worked quite well, is just run the topper through it to get a nice mulch. It mulches everything down, and then Keithy will come through with a discorator and discorate it all up. Same thing at our farm, same thing at Alistair's. Same processes take place. So it gives the ground a rest. You get paid for the year that the ground's resting. So it's all win-win. There is costs in it. Obviously you've got to spray it off. Obviously you've got to cultivate up for the next year's crop. So there's always costs in it all. But it's a beautiful farm. Nice big fields here. Love drilling these ones. Anyway, next door is where we planted the spring wheat. We were here. Got the young boy here today. Wave. We've got the drone with us. We've got a bit of time finally. So we're going to go and fly the drone around all the spring crops. We've got some spring wheat, we've got some spring oats at home, we planted some spring barley. So let's have a little walk into this field here. As well, the tractor club, the old Bicester Vintage Tractor Club are doing a charity event. They're going to be taking off soon, so we'll watch them leave on their tractor and usually get involved with that, but can't do everything, I'm afraid. But this is the spring wheat crop. Anyway, it's looking, oh my god, what a picture that is. Farmer has been in here and sprayed some weeds. This was the last field I drilled here. And he's been in, and they're already taking effect. Look, if you look at that plant there, Henry, can you see? So Bampy come through, and he sprayed something on there, and it's now killed that. Yeah. That's going to disappear, so it won't go to flower, it won't seed, and it won't spread across the field and make it worse another day. Okay? Yeah. Really, really pleased with what I'm looking at up here. I think it's had both doses of nitrogen put on, so that's all it'll get. Farmers sprayed it for weeds, and yeah, it's looking, this field in particular, looking very well. Really chuffed. Last time I was here you could see up the drill lines, so that was a little while ago, so it's come on leaps and bounds since then. Weather patterns are starting to change from the end of next week, so we're hoping we get some more rain here, and I think we'll catch it nice with this. The winter stuff is already poking its head out, and it's a week earlier than it is, which is a sign of stress. You know, starting to because it hasn't got enough moisture, it's starting to poke its seed out. But farmer said it's not a great big deal. We'll go and have a look at some of the grass lays that we planted as well, because there's a new grass lay we planted that's coming on. Some of the spring barley fields aren't doing so well. Anyway, I think he's put a fungicide on here, because I think I can see some of the leaves at the top there they've just got a little bit of disease about them. So I know farmer would have you can put several sprays together. You can mix up, it's like a big pot. You mix all these chemicals up, and you can spray a fungicide with, you can't do it with everything, but there are certain chemicals that mix well together, and you can do a fungicide and a weed killer at the same time. It'll kill the weeds and it will take care of the disease on the plants. There's certain mixes he can do, so he hasn't got to come through once, spray it for disease, and then come through another time with a weed killer to take out the weeds. So that's quite handy. So him and the agronomist do all that sort of stuff. But anyway, this looks fantastic. We were worried, farmer especially was worried about the low seed rate we were putting on here at the time, and you look at it now, you'd have to say we were probably wrong and Jim was right on this occasion. But the seed beds were perfect. There was moisture in the seed beds. It drilled beautiful. It drilled the best I've ever drilled into. So everything sort of added up, and yeah, we got the nitrogen on. They had a rain and the nitrogen's gone in, and then it's been dry ever since from then. So yeah, there we go. Proof's in the pudding there. We'll take the drone up and have a little fly about and see what the other fields look like. But yeah, then we'll take a little look at the tractors coming by, and then we've got some other fields to go and look at. But spring wheat at Jim's is looking very nice. Look at the grounder. We haven't had any meaningful rain since March. We had 20 mil, which got this all going, and that properly saved it. So there we go. It's good, isn't it, mate? In that one area we've got a few different crops going on. So this is the spring barley, as you can see on this headland. hasn't. The first half we drilled here doesn't look too bad actually. It's not amazing. I wouldn't say it's like crop of the year or anything like that, but it looks a lot better than what we drilled second half. The seed beds weren't quite there, so we had to spend some more time working them down, getting them into a bit better seed bed. And if you look across the field, you know, it doesn't look too bad. We'll fly the drone up here in a minute. I think the seed bed just dried out to nothing, and yeah, obviously everything here is desperate for rain. The guys have been across and fertilised. This one and the one next door aren't quite as good as the ones that we did earlier on, and that was only 3 or 4 days in it, you know, from when we started. The first fields we started, they've come on really well, and they drilled well, and all went into moisture, and it come away really good. But yeah, I think once we get the drone up, I think it gets a bit patchy in places in this field, and certainly in the next field. But it certainly looks a lot better than it did a couple of weeks ago when I was last here. So there'll be something to cut. There'll be a crop there, but yeah, yields aren't going to be humongous on this one. This is a big old field as well. This one is 60 to 70 acres, and the one next door is 50 acres. So they're big fields, but they're just not, I don't think they're going to yield as well as the stuff that we planted a few days earlier. So yeah, we just have to see on that one. You never know, you know, the rain might come next week, and they might sort of flourish and tiller out, and it might surprise us in the end. But yeah, there we go. That's a spring barley. We've got some spring oats at home. We've got little bits and pieces of spring crops here, there and everywhere. When we're in those areas, we'll cover those. We'll go and have a look at the spring oats, and yeah, we just had a little look at Harry's turnips that we planted the last week, and well, there ain't much there. And what has come is being absolutely nailed by some sort of critter. So that's not good news, and that went into some moisture. You know, there are a few plants there, but there's not a lot, which is a bit of a shame. I don't like that. Basically, I think we dried it out too much, and then dry weather afterwards has nailed us on that one. But it was a last minute jobby to get this one in, so we didn't have a lot of time, and then weather afterwards, yeah, that's what it is. You don't get everything perfect every year. You always have one or two bits and pieces that just you can't do it all in the same day. You see, you just can't. It takes time. So, and the longer you leave it, and the more the seed bed dries out, the less likely you are to get a good crop. So simple as that. But we'll follow it through to harvest. We'll see what we get, and we'll go from there. We were driving past Barry's. We drilled this for him a little while ago. Spring wheat and spring oats. Young Robert actually drilled this little field by himself, so we're just going to have a little check. make sure he did his job right. It was his first go on the drill. I have spotted just a couple of mistakes in the other field, but we'll let him off because it was his first go. Spring oats in this one we put in. Barry's been across and fertilised, I can see. And Robert done this one on his own, so if there's any mistakes, it's on his... I think he's done alright here. The classic mistake is, I think we got... One of the classic mistakes is not getting the drill down soon enough, and you end up with a tiny little box, which, to be fair, I can't see any in this field. There's one or two in the other field when he was having a go in there, but apart from that, it's pretty good. Anyway, it all looks nice up here for Barry, so I'm well pleased for him. It all went in good going, lovely seed beds, lovely bit of moisture there. It all got away good as gold. And now he's been across fertilised. We would have probably put a bit of fertiliser on a bit sooner, but yeah, Barry's got some on there. Hopefully it all gets taken up in the next rain, which hopefully comes next week, and it'll be fine. But yeah, young Robert's done alright for his first go, hasn't he? It's all green. I can't see any mistakes. I'm not going to fly the drone here, but I know he wanted to come and see what it looked like. So yeah, the yellowing is all dry, so the moment we get a rain, that will come back to life. Everything's struggling a little bit. This is the biggest thing to get your head around when you're on the drill. He would have put the drill down here, and this is how far you travel before seed starts coming out. So you've always got to remember, you always want to be putting the drill down about here. And yes, it goes through the soil a bit, but then your seed starts metering here, and then you don't get left with this block. And that's how long it takes for the seed to go up the mushroom, down the pipes, and then out onto the floor and into the seed bed. So you've got one, two, couple there. It's no big deal, especially when you're learning, but for another day he'll I know he'll be like, I can see what he means now. And you just got to be a couple of seconds ahead of yourself when you're putting the drill into the ground. Just give it a bit more time. But apart from that, that's the only mistakes up here. Done a lovely job. Young Robert's no fool. He learns from his mistakes. Easy peasy. Anyway, lovely crops looking like up here. Hopefully Barry gets a rain like we all do, and he has a good harvest. Anyway, he combines it all with an old, what is that combine? 80, not 80, 70, 80, 70 combine, old New Holland. If we have time on the day when he's out here, I'll try. It's all levers, it's an old style New Holland. Still a good combine, I believe, the guys tell me. He has a lot of people asking him about it because it's an old classic, but he uses it every year. He combines his own, and yeah, it's a lovely little thing. All levers and pulleys, and none of this modern tech on there or anything like that. Proper old school, and yeah, still gets the job done though. We've had a look at it in the past, so if you go back through some of the older videos, you'll see his combine on there somewhere along the line. During harvest videos, we went and filmed him a little bit, so there is some footage of him on there. Yeah, it's looking really well for him anyway. It's good. You get your eye in, there's loads and loads of these little tiny caterpillars, and the hedge is like it all the way up and down with all the, I don't know what they're called, I don't know what they turn into, but there's tons and tons of them in there. You see them, Henry? All the caterpillars. Yeah. Loads of them. Yeah. Cool, isn't it? This is that new layer of grass we put in the back end of last year, and then it got ever so wet, and well, I don't like the look of this, I can tell you that for a fact, because that isn't a grass we really want in there. That's black grass. Well, that is flowering at the moment. The stuff we do want is in the bottom there, this stuff. That's what we're after. I was actually hoping for it to be a bit taller than that, but if you look at the bottom, it is completely cracked, no moisture. The crop we had off the last year's mix, there's some fluffy ones in there. There's all different sorts of species in there, but I don't like all this black grass poking out the top. Everything you can see poking off at the top is black grass. That's not a good thing. It looked really promising, this did. I think it will still, you know, it'll be fine. Just need some rain. I keep saying it, but everyone will be telling you the same thing. This will stay a permanent grass for a little while. We might have to, with the black grass that's in it, we might have to silage first crop. We'll speak to the farmer about it, see what he says. Yeah, surprisingly huge amount of black grass poking out the top of it. So yes, we might have to just take 2 silage crops off it this year to kill off the black grass, and then next year it will be its normal permanent lay. But yes, it's looked really well all year up until now, when the horrible black grass pokes its head up. Anyway, with a new lay, you know, this stuff grows fast. It makes fast as well. We found the one we put up at Peter's farm, which is very similar to this mix. They tweaked it a little bit for us, but I just know with all that black grass on top, we're going to have to do something different here, which is a shame. We'll speak to the farmer on this one, because I don't know for sure, but I know he won't be happy with all that poking its head out, and we might have to do something with that soon, because we don't want the black grass to go to seed. So yes, interesting. That is, yes, that might actually force our hand into cutting something in the next 10 days. So we let me just make it very clear, we don't have anything hay related, silage related, remotely even close to cutting for silage. You'll see a lot of people out there making silage for milk cows. They need young grass for the quality, but there's no grass about. I think that goes with the weather. No rain, no grass, simple as that. But for the guys who are doing milk, you know, the milk herds, they want the quality, so they cut it young. So they're forced to cut it young. So I've seen that in, you know, or yeah, a lot of places. Yeah, not many people got much grass, but yeah, we've seen it dry before. We've seen no grass before. We've seen lots of grass. We've seen it all. So just one of those things. But this, I'm gonna have to get farmer to look at soon. Right, and lastly we're on to the oats. This was the first lot we went in, and yeah, it was a bit annoying really. Had we known fine weather was going to stay with us, we didn't need to jump about and get going so quickly. We could have let it dry out just a little bit more, get the tilth nice. It's not a perfect layout there. I think there is weeds and a little bit of black grass coming in there as well, but there is a crop there. It's not going to be crop of the year or anything like that. Everything's still screaming out for water, we all know that. Everything looks the same. It's that yellowing effect. Farmer has been across and sprayed some of the weeds out, so he did say that had took the green off the crop a little bit, so it stumped the crop a little bit by putting that spray on, but it needed to go on to control some of the weeds that were going on out there. Anyway, there'll be a bit of straw there, there'll be a bit of corn there. You know, I don't think we're going to break any records, that's for certain, but yeah, if we'd have known what weather patterns were coming, hindsight for you, you find yourself, you know, you get the fields just dry where you can travel, and you think, Christ, you know, is the weather going to change on us again? So you get out there as soon as you can, get it covered in, and yeah, it could have done with just waiting 2 or 3 days, recultimaxing, and then planting after that. It would have been a little bit better for establishment, but on the whole it doesn't look too bad. So yeah, apart from the problem weeds that will be in it, there's a lot of black grass in it. We might have to go, I think these are going into overwinter stubbles next year, so we'll get some better weed control going in here, and then we'll see what happens after that. But I'll fly the drone over it quickly, and that'll do for the crops. We're just going to go and catch up with the tractor guys. They're coming, they're just going to be coming back through on their way back, and then we'll leave it there. So I'll leave you with some drone pictures of the tractors, and we're going to go meet up with some friends and have a little chat with everyone, and yeah, we'll go from there. But the crop status, you know, everything just looks, on average, if you took everything as an average, it looks okay. Need some wet weather, need a bit of rain. Everything's struggling a little bit, so they are telling us weather patterns are going to change, so we'll leave it there, see what we get. Yeah, we've seen it dry all the way through to harvest and had really poor yields. We've seen that before, so you know, nothing would shock us, but hopefully not. Hopefully we get a drop of rain and things perk up a little bit and it'll be all right. But there we go, it's a constant battle, this game. If it was easy, everyone would do it, wouldn't they? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Catch you next time. Cheers.
In the door, I could have sworn I've seen your face before. So glad that you said hi, 'cause I was way too shy. What would have happened if you just had passed me by the night? We keep on drinking, keep on wishing for someone out there to hold. All those little you didn't catch me